Okay, so I have to review this. So back when the game first came out, pretty early on, so this is March 25th, there were a bunch of guides on units. Now, I'm going to give the guide writers the benefit of the doubt that this was early in the metagame. We didn't know that much about the game, so this is just for fun. I'm sure they have good guides. There's going to be some things that'll probably be right, some things will be wrong. All right, so let's go over the Fram best builds. Let's see why they think these are the best builds, and we'll kind of poke a little bit of fun at them. Just because it'll probably be pretty funny. All right, so she's a well-balanced stat line, opening her up for plenty of creativity when it comes to builds. So they emphasize her speed, which is good. That is one of her best things. So tied with Chloe, Lapis, and Fagotto, that's correct. With correct nurturing, Fram can become an incredibly powerful avoid tank. That's true. Okay, so they know that. With the option to focus on physical damage, magic damage, healing, or any combination. Regardless of the upsides, Fram sports one crippling weakness. She joins your party with an abysmal build set of 3. That's what they think her weakness is. That's interesting. Okay. Is one of the few characters in the game with absolutely no build growth whatsoever. Okay. I don't think that's a crippling weakness at all. I think at this point in time, especially if you just leave her on Martial Master and you just punch things to death, her build growth is not an issue at all. So they do emphasize her build growth and her speed growth. So they seem to just be focusing on those two things. Her bases are quite low, but the class she's on is quite low. Like the bases on it are quite weird. Okay, so they mentioned Martial Master, Wolf Knight, and Griffin Knight. Not Mage Knight, which is interesting. Of these, I think Martial Master is probably her best class. I would not put her on Wolf Knight. I don't think she has the strength for it. And Griffin Knight isn't bad for her. Like, she can be a decent Griffin Knight. I think Anna makes a better Griffin Knight, but she's like okay at this. Martial Master is the upgraded version of her base class, which allows her to utilize tomes. I think they meant High Priest. Martial Master cannot use tomes. Martial Master can use arts and staves. That's it. So they must have been thinking of High Priest. While its growth rates don't do much in supporting the weaker parts of Fram's gameplay, this is very vague. Can still function quite well and maintains the Chain Guard ability. Okay, so they weren't thinking of High Priest because High Priest cannot Chain Guard. High Priest is a mystical. Wolf Knight is the all-out attacker route, focusing on speed, dexterity, and strength. I don't agree that Wolf Knight focuses on strength. They're thinking of Wyvern. Honestly, Fram Wyvern could be a thing. This class allows Fram to use hit and run play style. I love the phrasing. And is worth considering if you already have plenty of magic damage for your team. I don't know. This seems like bad advice. Fram can also make excellent use of the Griffin Knight class, which gives her nice growths in all offensive stats. I mean, if you're going for physical damage, Griffin Knight is not the best thing. If you have low strength growth, you want Wyvern, letting her truly shine as a mixed attacking avoid tank. Interesting. This class also maintains her access to staves. True. Providing excellent utility for frontline attacker. To some degree. I don't think Griffin Knights are frontline units. I think they're like midline. I think they need other things to make space and then they can kind of follow unless they have like super avoid builds. But it also depends on what difficulty they're playing on. If you have the ability, let Fram spend a few levels as General or Berserker and attempt to fish for a few points of build. So they're playing on random growths. I'm assuming they're not playing on maddening mode because maddening defaults to fixed growth. So that's kind of interesting that they recommend that. That must be like a normal or hard mode thing. Or a random growth thing in general. Her biggest weakness is her depressingly low... Dude, they're so obsessed with her build. This makes weapon choice extremely difficult. Okay. Steel weapons, question mark. Especially in moving away from arts. Some arts are heavy too. Martial Master build will be able to use... It can't use tomes. What are you talking about? They keep... Dude, this is straight up misinformation. There's no excuse for this. It tells you what the class can do. It cannot use tomes. Will not suffer too badly from the penalties, while Wolf Knight can utilize daggers to great effect. This is such a suspect statement. If you decide to go for a Griffin Knight build, you'll need to accept the speed penalties that go with what you have access to. A lance-wielding Griffin is likely the best option. It's definitely sword. Sword is best for Levin sword. That's the entire point. As you have access to javelins and flame lances. They're calling out flame lances, dude. They have access to flame lances. Come on. Everyone knew these were bad early on. Javelin is good, but on Fram, I don't think it's that good. She doesn't. You need strength or lance power to run a javelin. Due to her versatility, she can make use of plenty of rings. So here are some powerful options. Sigurd is the ultimate hit. Dude, on Fram, Sigurd, come on. No, with insane. I mean, it is a hit and run ring, but it's like, that's a terrible idea. Celica can support a Martial Master build. That doesn't make any sense at all. Celica is the worst ring for a Martial Master because every time you attack, I'm sorry, that's only with tomes. So it's bad for a few reasons. One, you don't have the tome combo. Two, if you did, you would be hurting yourself and removing Chain Guard from yourself every time you attack. And three, why does a Martial Master need mobility? It's a slow-moving support unit that's supposed to support the team with Chain Guards and Bondage Shield and other things like this. Why would it need to dive? I don't understand. Lyn works well for a Wolf Knight or Griffin Knight. She's already fast enough that she shouldn't need Lyn. You could just unlock Speed Taker, like speed plus 3 to 4. If we're going by pre-well, she would still be good with just that, allowing you to avoid counterattacks and stack even more speed. This is a bad use of Lyn. This is a bad use of Celica. This is a bad use of Sigurd. Leaf can provide a nice boost to build. Okay. Leaf does more than just fixing build, and his quad strike on Fram would deal like 0 damage, so that's a waste of Leaf in my opinion. You can use Leaf for free Vantage, plus Adaptable, plus Arms Shield, which is kind of decent. So, giving her some much-needed weapon variety. Finally, Micaiah is an excellent option for all builds. For all builds? No, it's not. Micaiah is good for specific units. It's not good for all builds. This is just bad advice. Providing utility and team support. The reason I don't like Micaiah on Fram is she's better off on something else, especially Hortensia, if you're going for like warps, because you get the extra warp range from Hortensia's passive. And Hortensia can fly, but... Alright, Fram's choice of skills. Here we go. Here we go. This is where things get interesting. Fram's choice of skills will heavily depend on the build route you choose to take. Here are some notable options. Canter. Alright, Canter's good. I'll give him that. Canter allows for excellent mobility when not using the Sigurd ring, allowing for amazing repositioning, sure. Both of Lyn's inheritable skills are powerful on... as always on speedy units. Momentum allows for extra damage, especially for high mobility classes, build plus. Okay, so for the recommendations for Fram, Canter isn't the worst thing, but there's definitely better things, like Staff Mastery, so that she can use her heal more effectively, especially if you're not using the well. Momentum wouldn't really be good on her. Momentum's only good on like crits or effective damage, I think. Post-well, but pre-well, it was decent, but it wouldn't be that good on Fram. Build plus 3, this isn't the worst thing, but it's interesting they don't mention speed plus 3, which does the same thing, because they're stuck in this trap of thinking that speed can't fix the speed reduction from weight. Speed plus 3 is just objectively better than build plus 3. This is like a common early pitfall. Speed Taker, I wouldn't run this on Fram, that's such a waste. Speed Taker on Fram, like what is the use case? Like she, at player phases, some stuff for like low damage. It doesn't even make sense. She's never going to hit high damage thresholds like pre-well, which is when this was written. Alacrity. This is a meme. I think unlocking Alacrity is a terrible idea, and it does almost nothing for you. You're better off taking some chip damage if the enemy's going to be able to counterattack. So many builds, even before the well, worked without this, and this is a waste of SP in my opinion. Okay, so all right, so that's the best build for Fram. They got the tome thing wrong. I feel like they don't understand Fram. They didn't even mention Mage Knight, which is probably the most logical use. They didn't understand like Levin Sword. So they were missing like a lot of things. They don't know about the build thing, the Levin Sword. No, the game came out... Oh wait, never mind. Hold up. I'm thinking this game came out January 20th. All right, they don't have an excuse. What? March 25th? Never mind. This is a terrible guide. I was giving them the benefit of the doubt because I thought the game came out like March 20th for some reason. It's been so long. Dude, this game's been out for months, and they wrote this. All right, that's terrible. That actually is pretty bad. That's pretty terrible. That's really bad, actually. They should know better by now. All right, all my mockery and criticisms stand. This is a terrible guide. This is... Hold on, when did the well update? Feet engage updates. Well. When did the well come out? 1.3? Oh. March 7th. Oh, this is after the well. That's bad. So the well has been out since... So this guide was written on the 25th. The well had been out for at least like 18 days. That's really bad. With the well in mind? Dude, this is a terrible guide. All right. Don't make fun of this. Or don't give this guy like a hard time or anything, or like harass him. I'm just doing this for fun. It's just fun to read some of these guides sometimes and to criticize them, especially when they're handing you information. He literally has a lot of things wrong. They should be paying me to write these, to be honest. I have like 800 plus hours in this game. They should be paying me to write these guys. All right, definitely like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Peace.